Super Bowl's over. The evil empire won another one. Blah, 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 whatever. But it's mock draft season. Ron and I each have a mock. You're going to tell us who has the plan to make the Bengals a dynasty like the evil empire we just had to watch win another ring. Coming up next, Blue Collar Bengals.
What is going on, Bengals fans? Woo-hoo! Chat popping already, people talking. Glad to be here on this Tuesday. Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Okay.
There's a big
An
lineup.
Odd day.
We have Rally Around the Natty was on. Sports with Strawberry Ice was on. There's all the shows on. You got a whole Tuesday night slate. Darth Bengal said he's multitasking, but he's here. He's probably putting up extremely cool necklaces like this one for an extremely good cause, Project Game Day that we talked about last week. RyPC 513's in here. Zach Donchi is here. Zach told me how to pronounce his last name. That way I stop sounding like a moron on the air. So we got people saying what's up. We switched the date up on you a little bit out of nowhere. Scheduling things happen. Hang my necklace back up. Scheduling things happen. Kids, wives, all that good stuff. So we're doing it on a Tuesday night. Now, first thing, damn, dude, they got a 1999 rod in full force from Kevin already. Yikes. The only thing to do after watching the Chiefs win another ring and seeing all their fans, for some reason, dude, like they're lifting the trophy in the air on television. And then there's people in my mentions from the like watch this. Watch your television. Why are you talking to Bengals fans? But the only thing to do after that is to drink ice cold garage beer.
Oh yeah. Slam it. Get it in the gullet and just drive on. It's the off season though, folks. So forget that game, forget that team. Like Drew said, we're going to roll into a mock draft today. Fueled by garage beer, probably, honestly. Garage beer, depression, a little bit of everything, with optimism for next season with a healthy Joe Burrow. So
my diet completely went to shit. My diet completely went to shit since the Super Bowl. I fell off the wagon. I thought I was going to get back on it, but so instead of Baja Blast Zero, we're back to old reliable, faithful little garage beer lime action for the mock draft night.
Well, there's nothing wrong with Baja Blast. I think Baja Blast is like celebrating its like 20th birthday this year or something.
It was Baja Blast Zero though. It was healthy, and now I'm just drinking beer. Okay. But hey, life goes on. You know, we've got too much money invested in the wedding. If I get fat, she's still not going to say no. Dude, creeping up. What is it? 13th. I got like 11 days till I throw my life away. From what everybody's saying. But. Of course, I don't mean that.
No. I'm getting roasted on my picture. I don't know.
It's going to even out, folks.
Yeah, it'll even out. I don't know why it's doing that. As long as submitting via fax, right? As long as you guys can hear me right now, that's all that matters, man.
Listen, folks, I promise, we try our best. We try to get in here early. I had the camera problem last week because it wasn't charged up. This thing's been plugged in for 5 days. Look, that's showbiz, baby. That's what it is. That's live from your house show situations. Wedge, that was off the top rope. Zach Donchi says, I commented on one of Ron's Twitter posts yesterday and had a Chiefs fan call me a liar. Hate those F words. Yeah. We're not supposed to cuss yet. I think we're still too far into or not far enough into the stream where YouTube will give you the strikes.
I wonder why
the Baja Blast commercial was great. It was great. So we're glad you guys popped back into the chat here on a different schedule. We try to stay consistent with Thursdays. You guys get it. Life happens. Wives, kids, Valentine's Days, all that good stuff. So we are here to do a mock draft. We each did 5 rounds. I just now thought that I should have made a graphic to recap our picks, and I didn't. So you're just going to follow along. Take notes, write them down. Do whatever you need to do. So you want to just jump right into it? You're up first. So we each did a 5-round mock on the PFF mock draft simulator. So we're on the same thing. He'll say his first round pick. I'll say my first round pick. We'll talk about each of them, whatever, so on and so forth for 5 rounds. So, Ron, you are first up. Who are you taking at number 18 overall if you are Duke Tobin, Katie Blackburn, Zach Taylor, and company? Let's say you
All right.
this whole show, I'm the guy. I'm the GM. You're the GM. So we make the call. This is our shit.
Yes, 100%. I am like just before I announce my pick, and just Wedge Gordon is like on his finest of a tea spilling tonight. Which one of the kids is on AIM right now? I'm making my mock. Just absolutely roasting my ass.
Hey, Wedge was giving me good tech advice after the last.
I deserve it.
He knows you.
I
You might want to
deserve
talk
it.
to him in the DMs.
All right, hey, with my first pick, if you can cue that beautiful bean footage up, I took J.C. Latham, out of Alabama. And I think this is an obvious pick for anyone watching, listening, the millions of fans on YouTube, the millions of fans on other platforms that are tuned in right now. A right tackle who allowed 0 sacks, right? I mean, why would you not want that? I mean, that's a no-brainer. Played for a big school like Bama. The guy is 6'6", 360, can move. He's of good pedigree, came from IMG Academy before playing at Alabama. So, he's got some great technical skills. I don't think I need to sell this, really. I really don't. J.C. Latham out of Alabama with my first pick.
IMGM Academy is also where college football national champion quarterback J.J. McCarthy of the Michigan Wolverines went. I like to bring that up really any chance I get. So that's good. Latham he's a right tackle too, man. He's a true right tackle. We're operating under the assumption that Jonah is going to be gone, obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's pretty much a foregone conclusion for everybody at this point. He wants left tackle money. He wants to go play left tackle somewhere, and that's not going to be in Cincinnati because we have Orlando Brown Jr. So it's pretty much assumed that he's going to be gone. So, yeah, they're going to have to replace him. Latham, like you said, big program, great high school. I know somebody connected to Alabama football in a way that did share some concerns with me about Latham. About play recognition, about his football IQ. Now, this is just somebody that has some connection to Bama. It's not like I didn't talk to Nick Saban or anything like that. But after the after the Rose Bowl when Michigan played them, he was kind of pointing some of these things out to me because I was very much on the Latham train. I personally prefer Tylese Fugawa out of Oregon State over Latham. But with the mock that I did, you probably had him off the board before you got to 18, if I had to guess, just based on the ones that I was messing around with earlier. But it's not a pick that I would be upset with. It's just there were some concerns brought up, like, hey, maybe he needs to get better here, needs to get better there, whatever the case may be. But I don't think anybody would be mad at the Latham pick. Kevin Brown says that he's been a consistent pick of his in all of his 3-round mocks he's done. Check his PFF grade with the eyes emoji. He does have a high PFF grade. He also says that we have big money paying for PFF subscriptions. I used Ron's login, so did not cost me anything. He's got the big money.
I get 50% off for being military. So no big money here. Yeah, you look at this kid's PFF grades. I mean, his pass blocking grade is in the 80s from last year. His run blocking grade is damn near 80. The guy allowed no sacks, minimal hurries, minimal hits. Anytime you can get a guy that can probably just come in and be a day one starter. I don't know about all the stuff that you're hearing from your Alabama contact. Coming out of college, Lamar Jackson was almost a certified moron, and now he's a 2-time MVP. So you can be stupid and be good at football. So I think he can overcome that, and we would have a good, solid right tackle to protect Joe Burrow.
I just got a Twitter reply from what I believe is your mom. And it says, "Damn it, The Bachelor is on at 8. Sorry, he wins." So she is not tuned in. She's watching The Bachelor right now.
Okay. Thanks, Mom.
She have to watch it back. So yeah, I think that everybody would be relatively happy with the Latham pick.
Yeah.
So do we move on to mine?
Hit it.
With the 18th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select. Is the graphic there? It is Jackson Powers Johnson. He is a center. Technically, he is an interior offensive lineman from Oregon. Now, when I did my draft on this, unfortunately, the guy that I like the most, Tyrese Fugawa, was off the board. JC Latham was still on the board. I can't lie. So I went about this with a mindset of maybe the Bengals address right tackle in free agency with a Jermaine Illuminor or a Trent Brown to play right tackle or a Mike Onwenu. So I kind of went into this draft thinking, okay, free agency's over. We signed a tackle, probably not a 10-year solution, but maybe a 1 or 2 year solution. And I don't think that should stop the Bengals from drafting a guy that I think that they can move up. But in my mind, since I'm the guy making the call in this situation, I did not value JC Latham enough when I really wanted Tyrese Fugawa. I think that's how you get to a Frank Ragnow, Billy Price situation. So instead, I take Jackson Powers Johnson. He's got a connection to Jordan Salkin, who was just signed as a Bengals offensive assistant. He is the best interior offensive lineman in the entire draft. He can play center, where he predominantly played in college. But there's a lot of stuff out there. A lot of people think that he would make a damn good guard. And that can be to replace Cordell Volson. That could be maybe to replace Alex Kappa, who's getting down the end of his deal. And Ted Karras is the starting center, but he's only got another year on his contract. So who knows how that's going to go. So instead of kind of what I feel was reaching for a guy like Latham, I took Jackson Powers Johnson because I think that he could be a force on the interior of the Bengals offensive line, which needs just as much help as any tackle position. Well, just right tackle, essentially. So I go Jackson Powers Johnson. I clicked the wrong button. Ron's big. There we go. Now we're back. I was hoping the picture would figure itself out because it kind of blurred out a little bit, but we're just kind of rolling through it, doing our thing. Yeah, so I'm going Jackson Powers Johnson. I think Salkin will give a lot of good intel on how he practices, how he prepares, what kind of guy he is, stuff that maybe you can't see on tape. So there's that internal connection now between the two. And I personally would go there before I took Latham, just based on some of the things I've heard and some of the stuff I saw when I watched that game back. So I'm going Jackson Powers Johnson. We'll see what the chat thinks of that. You can chime in, say whatever you would like.
No, I love it. I like the offensive line early. The only thing I think there is if these tackles are off the board and I'm staring at a Jackson Powers Johnson and I'm staring at Powers or I'm going to take Jackson Powers Johnson. However, I can't say too much because I think I go interior offensive line with my next pick. Help the offensive line across the board. So any offensive line pick, I think, is going to be the right pick.
Well, you mentioned Brock Bowers, and so does Kevin in the chat. Said Bowers is there for any reason. All you sprint to the mic and announce his name, and that is the case for anything. If I can't see it, I cannot see Brock Bowers being there at 18. But if Brock Bowers is there at 18, the Bengals should not even go on the clock. They should just submit the pick, turn it in, and go. I just don't see any way that he is there. So do you think that it's time to move on to the second round?
I do. I got nothing.
Well, it's not. Because I'm the GM. I'm running the show. I put my GM hat on, and I got back into the first round.
Oh, gosh. Go.
Yeah. But nobody's going to love it. Nobody's going to like it because I traded T. Higgins to the Packers for pick number 25.
You psychopath.
Look, man. Look. I don't want this to happen. But if I don't see a long-term extension for T. Higgins, he's going to get tagged. and I don't see a long-term extension, and I can turn him into a first rounder, I've got to do it, because that first rounder I turned him into, I'm going back to the trenches, but I'm going on the other side of the ball. I'm going Byron Murphy, the second defensive tackle out of Texas, who is an absolute animal. He is a dog. I'm seeing very close to your face now. There's
good.
A lot of things changing on the screen, but we're going to figure it out.
I thought you were big. I'm messing with my camera here. I thought you were still big. I was messing with my camera.
Whatever you did worked. It looks good.
Oh, sweet. Okay, let's roll with it. Did you talk it already? My brain traded T. Higgins. I like Byron Murphy is a guy that I've seen on plenty of mock drafts and gone, I'm taking that guy. Holy crap. I mean, blockbuster trade to the Packers. You bring in a defensive tackle. Look at the picture of him. I mean, that's a big, strong guy. I wish I had research in front of me on the guy, but he's a guy I've mocked a couple times. I struggle seeing T leaving and not his replacement coming in immediately, but I'm sure you as the GM will address that down the line or have already addressed that in free agency. So, I mean, what else do you have to say about it?
Kevin said, Darth, I'm sorry, he booed me. I know, man. I don't like it. I don't want T. Higgins to not be here. I want T. Higgins to remain a Bengal. But if I'm playing GM and I can get picked 25 and I don't see a path to extend this guy for an actual extension, I'm pulling the trigger. Kevin said no shot he's there, but hopefully he slides because he does have a little bit of an injury history. He doesn't see the Packers trading that pick. They need corner help and have a young receiver core. That's all they do is draft defensive players. Aaron Rodgers was there for however many years, and they never gave him a first-round receiver or a first-round offensive skill player. So I'm trying to strike while the iron's hot. And you'll notice I submitted that trade. That trade went through, and I sent T. Higgins out of the AFC. All right, I'm seeing he might end up in Tennessee. He might end up in Jacksonville. No. I'm shipping T. Higgins out of the AFC. He can go to the NFC if I can get pick 25 back, only if I know that I cannot extend the guy. That's the only caveat. If I think that there is a 10% chance I can get a long-term deal done, I'm probably going to hang on to him with the tag through the year. But if I don't, I got to move the guy, and I'm going back to the trenches. Byron Murphy is an absolute menace. Kevin says he's not going to be there. Listen, baby, I just played the board the way it fell to me. So I don't like it. It hurt me to do it. It didn't make me smile to see T. Higgins in green and yellow Lambeau when it's 2 degrees and freezing. He didn't like the snow game in Buffalo. He pretty much said it. So, but that's what I had to do. Zach makes a good point. He honestly likes whoever can help us win. And that's what it is, baby. This is who can help the Bengals win. Byron Murphy can help the Bengals win for 5 years on a rookie contract under team control if you cannot re-sign your asset in T. Higgins. So I'm just an idiot with a Twitter account and a microphone. The board came that way. I sent the trade. They took it. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Murphy had a little bit of an injury too, but Kevin said the injury comment was about Bowers. Bowers did have the ankle stuff that followed him through college. Murphy's wasn't as serious. It wasn't probably anything really that's that big of a deal. So there's my, oh my God, what's this guy doing? He's either trying to make us a dynasty or he's running the franchise into the ground. I'll let you guys decide that, but that's the move I made. Now we are ready to move on to the second round. You are up first, my friend.
Yeah. You took the world and shook it there. But my second round pick is going to be Christian Haynes, guard, 6'2", 318. He's a Husky coming out of Connecticut. My thought process here is a guy like this who, again, is not allowing a ton of sacks and not allowing QB hits. But, I mean, there's hurries in there, and he's a second-round guy. He's probably got some growing to do, definitely some work that you need to do with him. But he's got strong hands. He's great at the point of attack. As soon as he fires off the snap and gets a hold of you, and he can get to the second level after he drives through on a run block. So, my thought process here is he's going to compete with Volson. If he beats Volson out, great. We got a guy in there that can help Joe Mixon or Chase Brown get to the next level and run. So this was a pick to not only bolster the line, but also specifically help the run game. He's got great pass blocking grades. I mean, again, the guy's pass blocking grades are in the 80s, 82.5 to be exact overall in the season. So he's got talent there. I hesitate to call him raw. I mean, if you look at his games, he played well. But again, Christian Haynes out of Connecticut, he is there to help the run game.
Here's my only concern with that pick, and
yeah,
we're not always going to agree here. We're GMs. We're guys at the top. We're making the moves. We got the power. Not always going to agree. I've been watching The Sopranos. Sorry, but when it comes to that, I don't want to take a guy in the second that I think is just going to compete with Cordell Volson.
Sure.
If I'm taking a guard in the second round, which is a premium pick, I want him to come in and instantly be an upgrade over Volson. Now, he may be.
Yeah.
But that's where I get a little bit iffy on it. But like you said, all of his numbers are good. He's a solid dude. Usually big, giant, strong dudes figure it out. That's just kind of how it is. His job is to move bodies around and be huge and strong. And he is both of those things already. So it'll probably be fine. Where I have a little bit of reservation on the pick is like, am I drafting this guy to come compete with my already maybe struggling left guard that we invested a fourth rounder in a couple years ago that we're hoping catches on, who's shown signs, but he's also shown, issues. So I don't know. That's where I get a little bit iffy on that.
Sure.
But
no, I agree.
Different strokes, different folks.
That's a good sentiment. And I just mean he's a rookie, right? Is he going to take the job day one? That'd be great, right? I would see him probably taking the job after the first couple games. He is as strong as you alluded to, and he's on his feet and get out there. Just cut, man. Just couldn't pass it up.
I know. I completely understand. So moving on to my second rounder, I'm going with another lineman. But maybe not in the area. People may think I'm taking Chop Robinson, the edge from Penn State. I watched a lot of Chop Robinson as a Michigan fan, as a Big Ten fan. So if you go back to my free agency episode, our free agency episode, but my take on the free agency episode, I'm saying you go get Josh Uche to come help your pass rush rotation. If for whatever reason that doesn't happen, that doesn't come to fruition, I really like Chop Robinson. You can see the picture there again. He's a jack dude. He's big. He's strong. He's fast. He comes off the edge well. Penn State's defense really made Michigan just not throw the ball because their pass rush was getting there. They literally ran the ball 32 straight times. Chop Robinson was a big part of that. Mark Fetters is stopping here to say, hey, Mark Fetters, you haven't been here in a while, man. I've been missing you. Glad to see you here. So I think of a Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson, Miles Murphy, Chop Robinson type of rotation here instead of a Josh Uche. Now you get this guy on a second round contract. It's going to be relatively cheap for 4 years. And I think there's a lot of upside there. And I think that he would fit on the other side behind Hubbard in that rotation. I don't want it to sound like I've completely given up on Joseph Osai, but I have completely given up on Joseph Osai. So I'm going back to the trenches a little bit, and I'm going to get Chop Robinson. And we can't discount the fact that name is just cool as hell. Chop Robinson is he sounds like a badass. The guy's name is Chop. So I got to do it. So I'm going back to the trenches, but I'm going to go get the quarterback, and I'm going to put Kenny Pickett and Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson on their ass with my pick.
Yep, I love it. Fall a little bit. Who knows? And I have zero issue with pick at all. I think one of our main goals this year as a team needs to be sacking other quarterbacks. So anytime you add to that pass rush, I'm 100% on board.
Kevin makes a good point. So when Chop Robinson gets a sack, do we what kind of chop do we do? Do we do like we're chopping wood? You can't do the Chiefs chop thing because it's the Chiefs and gross. So maybe we just do like a little bit of this, a little chop action when he gets a sack. I like it. Wedge Gordon says chopping mother flippers up. Chris Ingram wants to talk about your Wi-Fi. Look, folks, we're doing the best we can. All right, we don't know if it's the Wi-Fi, we don't know if it's a processor, we don't know if it's a camera. We're idiots. We just have cameras and microphones. We're just clicking buttons, hoping stuff gets better. But stick with us, Chris. We'll figure it out one day. And when we do, you can say you were there from the start. You can have a sense of pride in your stomach. Let you know you were there from the very, very 100%. Beginning. All right, Ron, 3rd round pick from general manager Ron, last name redacted.
My 3rd round pick is going to be one I love. I went with Michigan's Blake Corum. I think that anytime you can add a guy like that to the backfield, you do it right. And don't forget, like Ron can get better internet. I'm gonna try to pick here, but Mixon is not. God love him to death. Younger, so bringing in a guy like Blake Corum is just it's going to help. You know what I mean? You saw the guy all season. You saw the guy win. He's got the pedigree. You're going to have a lot more to say about Michigan. But I really started Blake Corum of the season, the end of college football season, and every time I would see him rip off a big run or make a play, right away, crap, he's good. So I'm going to let you talk about him a little bit more. I'm going to leave and I'm going to back the show and fix this camera. So
hey,
make
Wedge,
yourself
Wedge has your back, man. Wedge has your back, man. That's all
yeah.
I know. Wedge Gordon has our back. Ron picks Blake Corum. Of course I'm going to like it. Michigan man, national champion, low to the ground, built like a fire hydrant, fast as hell. He's not afraid to pass block. He's not an exceptional pass blocker by any means, but he is a capable pass blocker. He's capable catching the ball out of the backfield. Of course I'm going to like this pick. I like this pick so damn much. I can't explain how much I like this pick because I'm going through my mock draft. I'm sitting there round 3, pick 80. And guess what? Blake Corum was on the board for me, so I took it too. Blake Corum is also my pick. It's just a different picture with my name in front of it. Same guy, because it's such a good pick. You can say what you want about Joe Mixon. I know that people have great feelings about him. Some people have terrible feelings about him. Some people want him back. Some people want him gone. I get it. I am of the camp of what's best for the team. Is Joe Mixon going to take another pay cut? I don't know. Even if he does, let's say he takes another pay cut and he's back in Cincinnati again this year, it is the last year. He is not going to come back after that. So I'm looking at a future with Blake Corum and Chase Brown, and my nipples are getting hard, is what's happening. They're perking up, and it's not because it's cold. It's because that's a beautiful backfield. Corum's got the speed. Chase Brown's got the speed. Corum's more of a between the tackles guy, but don't take anything away from Chase Brown on that. The two things that I've heard as a knock on Corum are his mileage and the injury that he suffered in 2022. He suffered the injury. His stats weren't what they were the year before. Michigan's offense also changed and evolved a lot. They tried to keep Donovan Edwards more involved because I think they wanted to make sure that he came back to school next year after Blake Corum left. But Corum still had his touchdowns. They still give him the ball inside the 5, 3-4 times if they have to, and he's going to punch it in. He is a great, great fit for damn near any offense in the league, I would almost say. Damn near any one. So I think that you're going to call me a homer, and I understand it. It is what it is. The guy is a great fit, and I think that he would be very, very good for the offense. Chris wants Audric Estime from Notre Dame. I get that. I like that pick. I wouldn't be mad at that pick. I like Blake Corum better as a prospect. I like Blake Corum better personally. I get it. Maybe my bias is showing. But I truly, truly believe that he is going to be a star wherever he ends up. And I think that the Bengals are in the kind of offense where you can do this. You can draft a running back in the 3rd, 4th round every 2-3 years and just cycle through them. You don't need to pay $12 million in this offense, especially if you found a way to keep T. Higgins for anything even remotely long-term. So he picks him. I'm doing my draft. He's there at 80 for me. I'm taking him too. So we're on the same page. And it looks like Ron is back in business. So I'm going to bring him back in the stream. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to come back in. I'll put you in. Two thumbs up. So he's back.
Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. My camera looks fine everywhere else, but in our Restream app here, I just ran a test and it's recording well. And I don't know. I just went into a Zoom. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see if it sticks around. I went into a Zoom call with a buddy really quick, and it was crystal clear with him. So it's obviously a Restream connection issue with me here, but.
Well, we may be moving out of Restream soon. Anyway.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can figure it out, or I'll just go into debt and buy a $10,000 camera or something, so it's not an issue. I caught the tail end of your Corum talk there. I don't think you're a homer at all, and anybody that calls you a homer, I don't know, man. I see a lot of that with Bengals fans. Anytime you mock a Michigan made it to the 2000s. Holy shit. Hopefully it stays there, K Breezy. I'm doing it for you, man. I'm trying.
Mid or late 2000s. Early, mid or late.
Welcome to 2K Ron. All right. But I see a lot 2001. All right, go home, Chris. I see a lot if a Bengals fan mocks a Michigan guy to the Bengals, there's like this group of people who just won't have it. Like no matter what, the guy could be Jesus Christ football and they're like, yuck. No way. I don't want that on my team. Get over it, folks. If we draft Blake Corum and he comes in and starts ripping off runs, you're going to like the guy real quick and forget that he was in maize and blue. So that's the last thing I got to say about Corum. If we draft him, he's going to contribute and help.
And Chris says that Audric Estime is like the baby bus, and he's a very different prospect than Blake Corum. And I could see pairing an Audric Estime with a Chase Brown. Kevin said that we already have Blake Corum and Chase Brown. I don't think that they're necessarily that similar, because I think that Blake Corum's going to do a little bit more of the dirty work in the trenches, but he's also very shifty and can make that jump cut like he did against Bama, the game-winning touchdown, that what it turned out to be, and kind of bounce things on the outside. So there are similarities in their game, but I don't think that they're the exact same prospect. But if you were going to tell me that you made the decision to draft Blake Corum, or I'm sorry, you made the decision to draft Audric Estime over Blake Corum, I wouldn't be upset with you. I get it. There's a Twitter commenter with just the letter S that has asked a couple times what I think about Chase Brown. I love Chase Brown. I think Chase Brown deserved to be more involved in the offense probably earlier than he was last year. And I don't think that this is a pick where you replace Chase Brown. The Bengals
Not at all.
I think the Bengals are best when they're running back by committee. I think that Corum might be more of your running between the tackles back, and then you bring in Chase Brown, who, if he can get better at his pass blocking, to be your receiving back. Like we saw a 60-yard screen pass touchdown against the Colts. So once they started letting Chase Brown get involved, he started moving the ball. So I don't think anything bad about Chase Brown. I just think the way that the Bengals operate and the way that the Bengals offense is, every few years, you should add a young running back in the 3rd, 4th round range. And this guy just happens to be one of the best to ever do it in college football. Kevin says, honest question, which back, Blake or Estime, has better pass blocking? Who has the numbers? That is a good question, because I don't know. I watched every snap of Blake Corum's career, because that's my favorite college team, so I watch every game. I saw a lot more of him than I saw of Audric Estime. I saw Audric Estime have a hell of a game against Ohio State. I saw him see, some good performances out of him. So I'm not knocking the guy at all. And if you have the numbers, I'd be glad to see it. He very well may be better just because of physical stature. I think he's more of a big, imposing individual than Corum is, so he probably does pass block better, if I had to guess.
Yeah, Corum's numbers were better in 2022. He's got games in the 70s and 80s, but he averages out near 60 overall pass blocking. Again, this is PFF grades. Take it with a grain of salt, but they're a decent metric when they want to be. So, yeah, I mean, he's Corum, and we're talking to him ad nauseum because you got to defend the pick, obviously. He's not a Chase Brown replacement. He is a Mixon is not going to be here forever replacement. I know people want him here forever, but like if we're on year 2 of him having to take a pay cut to stay, probably like the writing is on the wall. At some point, another guy's going to have to come in and play running back. And Drew and I both agree on this here. The Bengals are awesome when it's a running back by committee system, dude. When you have one guy that's out there catching passes, another guy that's going up the middle, then you flop them. That guy's out there catching passes. It keeps defenses on their toes. And it's fun to watch, man. So I got nothing else on Corum other than if the Bengals draft him, I'll be a happy guy.
Yeah, I'll have the jersey ordered that day.
I bet. Oh, yeah. I
Homer
bet.
and me. So let's move on now. We're going to the 4th round. You're up here. 4th round pick. You are going with a guy that is connected to one of the guys that we've talked about. So who you got?
I am going to throw a body into the cornerback room. I'm going to go with Cam Hart out of Notre Dame, 6'2", 204, big body guy. He is a guy that comes in and helps out like our other Cam, Taylor Britt, right? Maybe not as electric in the pass game, but he can come in and play the run. And honest to God, I mean, he's been compared to Greg Newsome, kind of a Greg Newsome type. So I mean, Greg Newsome can play the pass. So I mean, Cam Hart can play the pass too. But coming out of Notre Dame, we need guys in the cornerback room to get in there and be able to take snaps when our starters need a breather. And Cam Hart can come in and he can provide that. So, I mean, he's grades out in the 80s. The guy is not going to get a pick 6 a quarter when you're putting him in there, but he's going to come in and he's a dog. He's going to, Chris Ingham, right as I say it, Cam Hart is a dog, right? So you bring a guy like him in and he'll have an impact. It won't be I'm taking the starting job impact, but he's going to come in and he's going to play good, solid DB for us.
So while we're on the subject of Cam Hart and he went to Notre Dame, I'm going to go off the rails for a minute here, which this show is known to do. What do you think of the movie Rudy?
Oh, I like it.
I see that helmet. I see that green. You know, I start thinking about Rudy. Rudy was a whiny bitch, is my take. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
He just really just pissed and moaned until they put him on the field, and then he was offsides when he got the sack, allegedly. So I'm just throwing it out there in the universe on a Tuesday night in the middle of February. Rudy was a whiny bitch.
Wedge Gordon. Rudy was offsides.
He was. It's true. Everybody knows that. But when it comes to Cam Hart is not a whiny bitch. Cam Hart is a football player.
Yeah, he's a hitter.
Cam Hart, he's that similar build like you were talking about. I think he's got a similar mentality to that. Yep. And let's say you bring in a Stephon Gilmore, like you said, for a 1-year deal. You bring back a Cheeto on a shorter deal, and then that deal goes out. Now you've got another young guy that you can inject into that room. So I really like the Cam Hart pick there. I think you're getting very, very good value for him at that spot too. So
100%.
I would tip by cap to that pick.
Yeah. And I think I downplayed his ability to play the pass a little bit. He can still play it. He's good in zone. He's good at reading routes, but what you're really getting out of him is the physicality and the ability to step up in the box and deliver a hit on a screen or a running back trying to get outside. You know what I mean? So big guy, and he's quick too, fluid. He's got speed. So I compare him to our Cam Taylor Britt, right? So
Kevin said he's going to get me to a Notre Dame game one day. I heard that they don't sell beer there, and they're not allowed to sell cold beer even at gas stations. My cousin's a huge Notre Dame fan. He said he went to a game once and he had to drink warm beer because they're not allowed to sell cold beer on Sundays somewhere. Could have changed that. That was a long time ago.
I had the opportunity to go to Notre Dame when UC went to Notre Dame and shit pumped them. I wasn't able to go. I think I had military obligations or something, but 2 of my buddies went down there and they managed to get pretty inebriated. So it's possible, but
doesn't Uncle Sam understand?
Yeah.
Never mind. Come on.
We
probably should. Yeah. All right. So
I'm excited for your next pick.
4th round pick. Well, I think people will like my 4th round pick
Yeah.
a little bit better than maybe my 3rd round pick. And this
Yep.
is a guy that I've been on publicly on my Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I'm picking the guy. I'm going Cade Stover, tight end, Ohio
Yep.
State, aka Farmer Gronk. Guy is
Armor
6'5",
Gronk.
251. He just like drives John Deere tractors and shit, and has
Yeah.
like a real like he's just like country strong, dude.
Yeah.
Guy's got good hands. Unless Mike Sanders still's on him in the end zone, knocking that
Mm.
thing away, helping Michigan get a win. That did
Mm.
happen, actually 3 times in a row. But I think that
Wouldn't mind drafting him.
he and actually I saw a video from our buddy Joe Goodberry today. If you subscribe to him, you can go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Very smart guy. He said Stover doesn't excite him much unless it's like, day 3, which, you get to the 4th round it is, but he was even later on day 3. He was talking about 5th round. But I personally watch a lot of Ohio State games as a Big Ten fan, rooting against them every step of the way. Guy's got solid hands. He's a good blocker. He's not a great blocker. He's not going to wow anybody as a tight end blocking, but he makes contested catches. He's hard to bring down. Guys bounce off of him because he's big and he's strong and he's been baling hay his whole life or what the hell ever. But I just really like the prospect of him. I think he could become a tight end 1 for the Bengals. I don't know if he's not going to be Tyler Eifert. He's not going to be Travis Kelce. He's not going to be any of the top tier uber athletic tight ends that do all this crazy stuff. But I do think that he would be a hell of a solid target, and he could be a tight end 1 for a rookie contract for Burrow and really produce and give you that kind of CJ Uzama, maybe a little bit more production out of a guy that you get in the 4th round pick. And let's just be honest, the local fans will love it because they love any Buckeye ever. They defended Mike Nugent when he sucked for 3 years before he was finally kicked. Like, well, he went to Ohio State. So the guys would love it too.
Yeah. That's a great pick. And I think that when you guys see my pick, you're going to see Drew and I are kind of on the same page here. Stover first. We're on round 4, Josh, unless
we're in the 4th. We're in the 4th, my guy.
Yeah. Unless you're just joining, but I have 0 issues with Cade Stover. Yeah. Big body guy, can catch the ball, can run with it, can block. I think very quickly we would see a Cade Stover, Tanner Hudson tandem, and it would just be lovely to watch.
Oh yeah, I like that idea.
Yep.
Because I think that Hudson still has a little bit more athleticism. He can go up the seam a little bit more, just out of pure speed. But I really like that prospect of maybe he becomes the 3rd option. He doesn't drop many balls, man. I mean, I give Ohio State fans shit about the Sanders still play. Mike Sanders still just made a great play, and I will have you know that I think. Right around here, Sanders still had just gone above me, or I might have had back-to-back Michigan players on here because I love Mike Sanders still as a prospect. I think he's going to be damn good. He's going to be Mike Hilton 2.0, maybe a little bit better, but I didn't get him. So I went up to Columbus. And like I said, don't care where these guys go to school. Can they come in? Can they help the Bengals win? I think Cade Stover could. So that's where I'm at on that.
100%.
Now we're rolling into what is it? This
4.
4th? 4? We're still in the 4th? I thought you were picking.
Still in the 4th. Yeah, still in the 4th.
I don't know. I've been drinking beer, so I just trust you.
Keep rolling. Look, all right, my 4th round pick, Drew goes Cade Stover. He was not available for me, so I got a guy that I would also really be happy if the Bengals selected, Ben Sino or Sinnott. I still don't know how to say this guy's name. God, dude, we need a tight end. This guy's out of Kansas State, 6'4", 254, big body. That reminds me of why can't I not remember this guy's name? Red hair, long hair, Hayden Hurst. Just a big-bodied guy. He's taller than Hayden Hurst, but Ben here. Not only is he big and physical, but he can get up the field. He's fast. I watched some highlights of this kid. He can jump in the air and high point some of these balls and grab them out of the air. He's got soft, reliable hands. He's incredibly coordinated. It just, to me, a guy that is that size and can run routes with the precision that he runs and get up in the air and bring down the ball. I'm not sure how he's honestly not getting drafted higher. Probably pass protection issues or something like that. But this is our first 5-round mock, so we're surface level with a lot of these guys. But if you can, dude, go look up some Ben Sinnott or Sano. Again, don't remember how his name. Go look up some of this kid's highlights because it's pretty remarkable.
So that beer slam that I just did that ended up with way too much of it on my shirt was for Wedge Gordon. He said Drew's going a beer per round. Round 6 is going to get wild. So I missed though. That was just not good on my end. I expect better out of myself.
It's a part of the show, dude.
To deliver better for you guys, so I do apologize. But yeah, Benson, another physical, strong tight end. Similar to Stover, I would say. I think Stover's a little bit thicker. Maybe you might have a couple guys bounce off of him first, but
sure.
Let's say Stover's gone, like you were in your situation. You went in there. I would be completely okay with that.
I just I know Stover can play football, but and maybe it's a little biased because I cranked up the highlights and started watching him play, dude. He's just he's athletic, man. It's the ability to get up and make some of the catches that he can make. And Chris Sengum brings up a good point here. Knocks on Sano is that he can't stretch a defense with speed. There are a couple drops I saw, but I mean, he's just athletic as hell and big. And that's my big plus with him for a 4th round tight end. And obviously Cade Stover wasn't there. So
wardrobe change. It's Hollywood, baby. Did you see that?
Oh, I do.
No more beer covered hoodie because I was trying to show off for my friend Wedge Gordon. Yeah, man, I like it. And it's easy to fall in love with the guy when you pop the highlight tapes on and get rolling, and it's all just good plays. You know, that's kind of the way it goes. But
hell yeah.
What I always say, when you get to like the 4th, 5th round, you're just kind of taking flyers on guys anyway, and just hoping for something.
Yeah, sure. 100%. Absolutely, man. Here's
see the sound of refreshment.
Let's go. I love it.
Tastes like football.
Roll into yours before I start getting googly eyes over Sano.
Another Notre Dame guy coming my way. J.D. Bertrand, linebacker, Notre Dame.
I like this.
Bengals are set with linebackers. Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt, they're signed. They're there. But depth-wise, I don't know who all is going to come back. I don't know if they bring a Joe Bachie back. I don't think they bring an Akeem Davis-Gaither back.
Sure.
Jury's out on Marcus Bailey. So when I look at Bertrand, I see a guy that is raw. I see a guy that has some decent physical tools, played at a big-time program. I'm looking to fill out depth for the linebacker position, maybe a little bit of special teams help to replace one of those guys. So that's really the basis for Bertrand. Raw, fairly athletic guy. Maybe you tap into him and find somebody for your rotation. But really at this point, I'm looking at the fact that I may have 3 linebackers that are special teams contributors to replace. So I'm going to go for a guy who played special teams at his time in Notre Dame as well. And I'm going to bring him into the rotation here kind of in the later rounds and just see what I got with the guy. So I don't have a deep dive on him, but that's kind of where I'm at with Bertrand.
Is he really number 27? Is he wearing 27?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, and the camping – guys played in big-time games. It's the Camping World Bowl, for Christ's sake. He's been there, done that.
You look at his picture here you picked. He looks like an offensive tackle. Is he a big guy? I don't know.
He kind of looks like he's pooping. Is what I realized when I started this whole thing. I was kind of thinking, like, I noticed it when I was doing the edit. And I was like, I can find another picture. I was like, you know what? Yeah. I'm just going to leave the picture where it looks like he's pooping. And we're just going to kind of leave it because sometimes when you're on the football field, it looks like you got to poop. But he's 6'1", 233.
Big guy. That's the thing, though, with us, with this show. We get one take. It's live. We don't edit
Yeah,
anything. Boom. Like,
that's all
that's
you
it.
got.
Yeah, 100%. Camera problems, pooping pictures, all of it. All live, no editing. I like that pick. There were a couple guys that I was looking at before I went with a tight end and my next pick. They weren't there with my next pick that I kind of went, man, I wish he was there. That were linebackers, because I know we've got Pratt. I know we've got Wilson. Our other guys are special teams contributors. I don't quite want to see them on the field taking snaps away from Pratt or Wilson. But if we can get a guy that maybe can come in and, take a like in the gap run play so Logan Wilson can get a breather, I'm good with that. And if he's 233 pounds, I mean, he's going to get in there and do that. So I like it. I like
his
the pick.
230 and my 230 are very different.
Yeah.
I'm not at 230 yet, though.
Yeah. I can't. He just looks like a offensive tackle wearing number 27, and I just can't get past that. It's like, it's the wildest looking dude for a linebacker, assuming he plays
That's like
Mike or Will or inside. I mean,
he's going to play on the inside.
Yeah, I like the pick. I'm in on that. I hope the Bengals take a linebacker this draft. I wouldn't mind if they took a linebacker in like the 4th, man. I'm in on that.
Yeah, that was something that was on my board, kind of in my eye.
Yep.
Not in my eye. That sounds. I had my eye on it,
Weird.
but I didn't see one that I like taking that early. So I got to the 5th here. You got one more pick. I've actually got another 5th rounder after you because I stole that from Green Bay too.
You got a 1st and a 5th for T?
Yeah, and I had to I should have put the terms of the deal all the way in there. I had to give him like a 2023 3rd, but I don't give a shit.
Spell it out. Spell it out when you do your next one. I didn't do all that. I went straight through. I tell you what, you're a better GM than I am. So, all right, this is Anthony Gould, wide receiver out of Oregon State.
A Beaver.
Yeah, he's a Beaver. And what attracted me to this little guy, and I say little guy, he's small. It's one of his knocks, right? 5'8", 172. I could throw him across the room. But the guy runs 4.3. I mean, he's quick. He's predominantly a slot guy. They used him out wide, though, this season when I was watching his highlights. Anytime you can add speed to our football team, it's a good thing, right? We've got Tyler Boyd leaving. T. Higgins probably playing on a tag. If we trade him, it is what it is. Hopefully we can work out a deal. The wide receiver room's being shaken up this year for the first time in a long time since A.J. Green left, right? We've had consistency with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. We've brought in other guys, Yoshi, Chuck Sizzle, who I don't know if they're heir apparents to some of the guys that we've got now, but let's inject some speed into it. Now, this guy's little, right? Gould's 5'8", 172. You'd have to put some mass on, just like Drew says about Chuck Sizzle. One of his knocks is that he gets bullied by bigger corners. And, we have some big corners in the AFC North. But if he can get in there and use 4.3 speed to get out and grab a ball from Joe Burrow and get a first down and then get off the field so the other guys can come out and finish the drive, I'm in on that. So did I take him too early? Probably. In this draft, I don't know. There is draft buzz about him. Apparently, he's an underrated guy. And what is it? What do they say here? They got Anthony Gould, one of the most underrated players in this draft. That's from Chicago Football Connection. So who the hell are they? I have no idea. But he could catch the ball. I don't know. It's just speed. I saw speed, and I went speed. So
it's hard to argue with it.
Yeah.
And Wedge Gordon makes up a good point. It's something I was going to say. You remember the last kind of small receiver out of Oregon State the Bengals took? That was one Chad Johnson Ochocinco. Wedge says we have a good record with Oregon State wideouts, and he's very, very true. And Kevin makes another good point. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. We like to run wide receiver screens. Maybe he could be the quick screen guy. Love that. Yeah.
The only thing I have PTSD about is John Ross.
But John Ross was the 9th pick.
That's true. That's true. but I like, we saw speed with him and all that, and we went for it. And you're right. We're later on, but like, good God, we took him that high.
He was taking one pick before Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was taking the pick right after John Ross. Now the Chiefs did trade up for him, but
oh my God, I always forget that. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is a fifth. We're in the fifth round, folks. We're not in the first round, right? This kid is not being taken in the first round, but
John Ross was so fast that his ligaments just couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
75-yard touchdown. John Ross is so fast that his hamstring fell off the bone. He's out for 6 weeks.
Oh, look at Chris Ingram. Gould reminds me of a Peter Warwick type. Okay. All right.
Oh, P-Dub, dude.
That's a big compliment. That's a huge compliment.
I love Peter Warwick, dude.
Another
Bengals game ever.
Yeah.
I could reminisce. Peter Warwick. Yes. Punt return touchdown. It was like 17 below 0 against the Jags. It was awesome.
That's funny you say punt return, because I was just about to say that. I see Gould maybe back there on punt returns and kick returns, right? He could catch it. He's 4'3". He'll be to the 25 before you even know it. It could be a difference maker there. You know what I mean? He could be a difference maker as a special teamer. If guys like Chuck Sizzle have to take on more of a wide receiver role this year with Tyler Boyd moving on. You know what I mean? So the guy's versatile. Yeah. You can't teach speed. So that's just, I mean, some idiot out there will tell me you can, but you can't teach Drew speed like that. So plug and play the guy. If he works out, great.
Yeah, what about formed running? No, dude, this guy just came out of the womb with blazing speed. Dow says he misread the title and he thought it said Drew and Ron go 5 rounds. If this channel gets to 1,000 subscribers, we will go live and Ron and I will fist fight.
Yes.
Tell you the truth.
Fist fight. Okay, I thought we were talking about our OnlyFans content, but go to your next fifth rounder here. I'm curious. Explain what you got out of the T. Higgins trade here, because I didn't realize that you were robbing the Green Bay Packers.
Hey, look, people keep saying that's unrealistic. That's never going to happen. All I'm doing is playing the game how the board comes to me.
Yeah, it just did, folks.
I put in T. Higgins for 25. They say no. I have 4 attempts remaining on PFF. So I said, okay, I'll give you T. Higgins, a 2025 third, which I don't have to worry about, because if this draft's a failure, I might get fired.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Fuck those picks. Well, we're late enough.
We're almost at an hour.
Okay, I want a 5th, but I'll give you a future third. And it went through. So I played it. And with that additional 5th round pick, I'm taking Trevor Keegan, guard from Michigan. Could be a homer pick. It's a crapshoot. I picked up an extra 5th rounder. He looks cool as hell in this picture right here. Oh, everything's backwards. There he is. He looks cool as hell. He played on an offensive line that won 2 straight Joe Moore awards in college. It's a late round pick coming from a program that just won a national championship based off running the football and being tougher than everybody that they played and bullying the trenches on every team they played. So I'm taking a flyer on a guard from Michigan, and he's probably going to be depth, but we're toward the end of the 5th round here, so it is what it is. And he has the potential to maybe turn into a solid starter if you do have to replace a Kappa after his contract's up, or you choose not to retain Volson's services. So that is my final pick. That is the full 5-round mock draft. We didn't think that it would take that long, but it took almost a damn hour, because you know how we do, going off the rails, tech issues, reading the chat, all that good stuff. So it filled out a good show. Wedge Gordon, Michigan man, phenomenal pick. He gets it. He knows. So you can tell us in the comments how we did, whose draft was better, whose draft sucked. Did they both suck? Are we both big dumb stooges that stick to our day jobs? Maybe so. You guys can let us know.
No, I like the pick. Anytime you add depth to the offensive line, that's great. We have seen an offensive line that got us to a Super Bowl that was being led by depth. So there you go, man. I'm all in.
You want to call that depth?
Huh?
You want to call that depth?
What?
That line? Quentin Spain, never heard from again. Hakeem Adeniji signed with the Vikings, I think. Dude, that line. Trey Hopkins, what happened? Oh,
yes. No, that's what I mean. An offensive line not full of ridiculous starters. But
That shit is a crime, dude.
yeah, it was nuts. I don't know. I don't know
Oh.
how the hell we even got there, but I'm happy we did, dude. I like both our drafts. I think we went different directions in some areas. I appreciate your linebacker pick, I think, the most. We agree on Corum. Corum would be an incredible addition. I think we both handshake that we need a tight end. You were able to get Stover. I was not, and I landed on Sano. I'm trying to think what else I got. Cam Hart, DB. We both addressed guard. Did you take a tackle?
No, I didn't take a tackle. So I'm in a situation where I signed.
That's
an
Illuminor,
a Brown, or a Winu. And
yes,
if I'm still around in 2025, I'm probably attacking tackle pretty aggressively, fairly early though.
Love it. No, that's right, because you went interior with your first pick. Great pick. I love it. I've got nothing else to say about the draft. I do before we leave here. Are you good on draft talk? I mean, I think we'll do a couple more of these. That was just a 5-rounder. We'll do a 7 eventually, but you good on it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Awesome. Yeah, I do. It's the Bengals make another addition to this coaching staff. I just want to bring that in. It's not a massive one, but Cincinnati, this has happened. Obviously, everybody knows about it, but we got to talk about it. Hired Oregon offensive analyst Jordan Salkin as an offensive assistant role. And the only reason I want to bring it up is because it's Joe Burrow's offense. Zach Taylor's calling the plays. People have trouble with that. They don't like it. I take issue with those people. Always hating. I think constructive criticism is fine, but it is what it is. But bringing in Salkin to join our new passing game coordinator, Justin Rascati. It makes me smile that they recognize that they've got to bring in some guys to help out. I like the addition in the offensive coaching room. And I think it's only going to help, man. I mean, what are your thoughts before we get out of here on some of the coaching additions, and what would you like to see happen with this coaching staff? We'll do a whole show on coaching, guys, but I'd be remiss if we didn't bring it up at least right now.
I think that when you look at the way that they moved up to the more important positions, not that every position isn't important in a coaching staff, but they did a lot of promoting from within. So you move pitcher up to offensive coordinator, you move Cragthorpe up to quarterbacks coach, and then you're bringing in guys with different ideas that have seen different things. Salkin was most recently at Oregon.
Yep.
So there's the Powers Jackson tie that I was talking about earlier. And you bring in a guy like Rascati who's been at other places. So you can still get fresh perspectives, things these guys have seen outside of the building that they can give their opinions on. Obviously, it's going to come down to pitcher and Zach and things like that. But you do get some fresh ideas, guys that they can pick their brain. Hey, I've seen this work at this place, this work here, there, and there. So you add some flavor, but you still keep the continuity. Burrow loves pitcher. I think that's been made clear several times. Pitchers like, hey, I could have gone and called plays in Vegas or New Orleans or Tampa, but I got Joe Burrow. I'm sticking around here. So I think that it's good that they keep the continuity and the consistency that we've seen success out of. I know last year was an injury mess, but overall, it's been a success with this staff, I think that we should say, because we've seen the most success out of the Bengals in the postseason that I've seen in my 32 years on this earth.
Oh yeah.
So I like it. Yeah. Bring in some fresh perspectives, but you also promote from within the guys that kind of earn their stripes, so to speak. And things are going to stay widely the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes it could be you go get a guy from outside the building. It's still going to be Zach's offense. He's still going to call the plays, but maybe it just doesn't mesh well because he's been somewhere else where things are completely different, but you still get some of the outside perspective. So I like that. And Kevin has called you Paisan Ron, because you're big on the Riscati and the Medici.
Yeah. Anytime the Italian comes out, but I think you're about to do Cincy hat. There you go. Yeah, we have them within arm's reach at all times. We'll plug Cincy hat really quick. Good Lord. We plug it every episode. And again, these guys don't pay us. We don't see a dime from Ted Karras. We don't see a dime from Matt over there. They do incredible stuff, and we want to spread the good word. Go to cincyhat.com, buy a hat, buy a onesie, buy a t-shirt, buy a bucket hat if you're brave and you don't like the sun on your neck. Everything that you purchase, you're helping out the village of Marici, and you're building houses and homes and apartment complex style livings for adults with disabilities that need the help. So go there now. It's on our page. Like, we tweet about it all the time. We're just obsessed with Cincy Hat. We love them over there. And plug St. Tattie's Day real quick, man. Talk it up.
St. Tattie's Day, baby. Still don't know the tattoo shop because I'm an idiot and haven't looked it up. But I saw the address. I'm just going to put it in the old GPS and drive there.
Yes, sir.
St. Patty's Day, man, 17th. Tattoos, Cincy logos. It's going to be this logo here. On Ted Karras, he said we put the call out. We offered up our bodies, and it turned into this. And he's buying people tattoos. Family friendly event. I think that they were talking about maybe trying to open up some more slots. We'll have to check in on that. But yeah, man, I can't wait to go down there, get another tattoo on my body, and hang out and probably eat too much.
100%. Yeah, Drew and I will be down there from the rip. We'll probably be helping out that day. We just, again, love Cincy Hat. So anytime we can donate to them, we're willing to. Can you, Wedge Gordon here, I don't know if you can pull this comment up. It's a long one. I don't know what it'll look like on the screen before we get out of here, but neither mock was particularly Bengalish. Drew drafted like a wheeler and dealer, and Ron drafted like a 3-year high school varsity letterman, blue chip, high floor guys. So I think
that's it, baby.
I like it. Yeah, I like that a lot, Wedge. I appreciate that comment. I just wanted to get up there. Yeah.
Kevin with a good point. I might go Cincy face tat. The wedding will be over, so she'll have to be good with it. She will be legally obligated to love me no matter what at that point. So I might put it right here under the old left eye.
Well, or go full Mike Tyson and get like a Cincy Hat tribal kind of thing on the side of your head. That might be cool.
I know a dude that has the word relentless tattooed from like here down to here. He's in prison for a very long time.
Okay.
But I know him. But
whoever that guy is, I hope your meal was hot tonight and your bed is soft and your cell is locked. So
he got like 20 years. She says no. She says no.
Changing vows.
Veto. Wes Gordon says for better or for worse. That's true. That's literally what we're about to do here on the 24th. I'm still thinking about maybe hiring like a broadcast team to live broadcast the wedding, kind of like a sports broadcast, but like they can make fun of people's clothes and shit.
Yeah. Has Ocho Cinco seen tweets or anything like that, or is it just kind of gone out into the ether?
I said I was going to do it every day until he responded and agreed to do it. I ended up doing it for like 2 days, and then I kind of forgot about it. So we'll stick with the guy we had originally picked.
Yeah. Didn't catch as many passes, but he'll officiate the wedding. So.
Well, I told the guy it's a family member, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'd love for you to officiate my wedding." Like when I first did it, and then I told him about the Chad Johnson thing. I'm like, "Listen, like it's nothing personal, but you don't have any Pro Bowls, like none."
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So he understood, but I wasn't dedicated enough, so we're just gonna stick to the regular thing. Then I'm gonna go to Vegas the next day, and I'm gonna come back a multi-millionaire, and we're gonna take this thing to the top. We're gonna buy a studio sports complex.
Yeah.
And just do all kinds of crazy shit is my plan. Or I'll lose all my money the first day and have to eat like dollar menu for the next 3 days.
Then you'll stream on a potato like I do here apparently, and we'll both just be blurry assholes on the internet. So I got nothing left, but it was fun to join you guys in the 1990s, come up to the 2000s. And eventually get this mock draft out. So who day, baby?
Who day? I think we're back Thursday next week. I think it's normal schedule next week. And then things are up in the air the week after that because I'll be getting back from Vegas that day. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, man, thank you guys for tuning in on a short notice date change. Love interacting with the chat. You guys are the best. Like this stream, subscribe, send it to your friends. We actually hit like a large uptick in viewers on last week's episode. It's
Yeah.
by far our most watched episode, by far our most commented on episode. So if you leave a comment on this video after we're live, it helps in the algorithm if you want to just
Sure.
pop in there and say something. So we'd appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, but last week it was just straight up. So we're trying to keep that rolling. The cool stuff that we keep hinting at is still coming. We've made some progress with that. We just can't say anything yet. I promise we'll stop teasing you and we'll tell you what it is eventually. That's all I got. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Who Dey?